Hello. Hello. Hi. Hello. Hazel. Okay, snap into it, please. Okay, I'm recording. Um, episode 3, I think, of post Hazelnut Clarity. I cannot believe I named it that. Like, I just can't. I remember last June, I was in Toronto and I was thinking about like starting a podcast and sorry, I beg your pardon, but I just showered. Okay, and if you guys are thinking why her hair looks like she's just fucked someone or come out of a jungle, it's because of that. So deal with it. It's wet, and I can't put a rubber on it because you can see the length of this shit is like impossible. I had a boy cut until a month ago, and now I want it to grow back, so it's in this weird length where it's not long or it's not short, it's just something, and it's disgusting. It's bothering everything in my life right now because I can't shoot videos to post on Instagram. I can't go out without a cap or a headband. I don't know why I'm recording a podcast with my open hair. I don't know. Unpredictable shit. But coming back, I was saying, yeah, last year in June, when I was thinking about starting a podcast, I have a friend in Toronto. His name is Rowan Samuels. Shout out Rowan. Um, I don't think he's gonna watch this because he thinks I only do my podcast in Hindi. But I'm gonna text him and tell him I mentioned you. But I was talking to him. We were just having fun on his balcony, you know, just college student shit. And I remember telling him that I might name it Post Hazelnut Clarity. And um, it's just funny. It's just funny. It's the best, like, clickbait. What is she gonna talk about? Is she gonna tell us when she lost her virginity? What the fuck is gonna happen? Nothing. I just like sit and talk to you about random shit. Random shit, number one. That is my painting. I was trying to record this, and then I was like, the walls are white. I don't like that. What do I do? So took a painting of mine and put it there. Something I also hate is that I shoot this on my phone, and because I shoot it on my front camera because I constantly want to see how I look. Okay, because I that shit is like inverted. It's flipped, and it does not look like how it should. But I'll try my best. This is like an editing note I'll take, but I'll try my best to like put a picture here if I have the editing power when I edit it of the original painting. And if any of you, like 92 people who subscribe to my channel right now, want to buy this, I'm selling it for like a whole fortune, though it's expensive. Look at that, it's so detailed. If you want to buy it, you know where to find me. However, what I wanted to talk about in specific, I should like, should I wear a cap or something? Because like, it's too messy, man, my hair. Or it kind of looks nice too. Like, let it be. Actually, like, who the fuck gives a shit? You guys are gonna watch me anyway. I'm too pretty. However, I wanted to talk about like lately in my life for the last few weeks. I've been very, 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 very institutionalizedly stressed. Institutionalized. I don't even know if that's a word, but just I took a break from my university, and for the last 2.5 years, I have been constantly studying in a university overseas. constantly. Like I started it when I was 16 turning 17, and I am 19 right now. And I have constantly been just like institutionalized, a part of an institution, that the 17-year-old me was like, this shit is gonna save my life. It's gonna give me a job, it's gonna pay me like millions and millions of dollars, crores and crores of rupees or something. Yeah, and who doesn't like that at the age of 16 or 17? Yeah. But I went there, and shit was nice. My academically peaked ass chose the hardest program on the fucking planet that I could. You know, something I hate about India, to be very honest, is that you, like every person, every family here, they give your, like, they give their children a standard. They set a standard of like academic fulfillment, okay, and you compete with like the same class that you have until like fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, and then 10th, and then 11th and 12th. Okay, the same people competing again and again and again and again and again. And all there's like two or three people that are gonna top. Okay, someone's gonna come first, someone's gonna come second, someone's gonna come third. Like, thank you so much, Britishers. But the ranking has been made like that. And then just because you happen to be someone who is scoring among those 40 students at the highest of your abilities, you think you can take over the world. And probably you can. Anyone can if they think about it. If Napoleon can do it, anyone can do it. Probably you can, but not everybody wants to, right? I don't think so. I don't think so, really. So, like, the 17-year-old me was like, oh, I'm gonna take over the world because I just got into, like, I got admitted into, like, the best universities of the world because, like, I'm a writer and I wrote good essays and I had, like, good marks. Like, who can't score in 10th to 12th grade in India? Okay. So, I was always, like, I had this best Akira in me always that I just don't want to follow the sheep's race. My elder sister was always like, she's 10 years older than me, and she took the path of like sciences in her life, and that didn't really work out the best for her. So I always was excused from that side. I wasn't ever like, my parents never like forced me into like, oh, you should do medical or you should do like engineering or something, and like, you know, do this and that and like this. That's something I was excused from. So what is the next best thing when you were like excused from like medical or something? It's economics. So I applied to like all the famous economics institutions across the world, and like fortunately, okay, due to just good reasons, like I had good grades and I wrote good essays and the interviews were nice and everything, I got into good universities across the world. And I chose a university that I don't think I should. Like, I see, you know, YouTubers not disclosing where they go to school. So I'm not going to disclose that. Although I think most people know where I go to university, but it's fine. But I chose that institution and I went there, and I went there with no prior knowledge of what a North American institution is like, how the curriculum is set. And my parents, my family, my extended family, I was the first girl who went abroad for a degree and not for like a diploma or something that most people in Punjab go abroad for. So it was like really hard, man. It was really hard. I went there, and there was a culture shock, and there was like such a big community to fit into, so many different cultures, so many different people. And I've always been like fine, you know, actually really good at making friends. It's not been that big of a deal. But with like the friends side of things, you know, so I made good friends and I survived like first year, and then, but it was a whole new country. And truth be said, I did not like come out of the most like peaceful house. You know, my main motive when I left this house was to not really get an education, it was really to get out of the house. Yeah. And at that age, like 16 or 17, I would have done anything to do that. Like, I would have joined a fucking prostitution rack, honestly. That's how troubled and, like, you know, mentally suppressed I was. And, um, well, I have to call myself out on my privilege here. The reason I can say all of this, okay, is because I went to that university and I lived abroad and I understood like what individualism is and how like all this stuff works and how you are much more than your friends and your family. You're a whole person of yourself and you can actually speak for or against a lot of things that have benefited or, you know, actually given a lot of money for your education. You know what I mean? Um, so I went there, it was hard, and I was, I've been thinking about, you know, I've been out of that institution for 3.5 months now, okay? And I traveled a lot in the last few months. I went to a lot of different cities in India and interacted with so many different people, artists, like videographers, content creators, people who, you know, are living a life on Instagram or like who are living a life just they don't even exist on Instagram. People who are cool being a real estate agent and people who are uncool being a content creator, you know, like no one giving into all the stereotypes that are made in the world for everyone around the world. And it just opened my mind up, man. Like, I really just understood how bad it is to be institutionalized. Like, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but like, free speech is a thing. Um, in my head, in theory, I always knew how bad institutionalization is because of like, you know, let's say like using a substance in Canada that is legal. Okay. Please, God save me, please. Yeah. But you know, that's the first thing that, you know, it does. Um, it's for expanded consciousness and it expands your consciousness and you're like, oh shit, I'm much more than this world. Wow, life's fine, life's good. I don't have to worry about anything but my mental peace and my mental health and this and that. But regardless, I felt all of that without the substance when I was traveling. That, oh, it is actually just all in your fucking head. If I can give any advice to anyone who's listening to me right now, okay, it's not gonna be like don't do drugs or something. That's up to you, man. Really, like, I'm not gonna promote it, I'm not gonna like speak against it, but countries across the world, like country that I lived in 4 months ago has all like marijuana and like shrooms. Everything is legalized there. Everything for medicinal purposes, obviously according to the law. But here in India, everything like is technically not legal, but people in India use that shit more than people in Canada do. Okay, and in Canada, like you can tell when someone is using it, and like, you know, there's a lot of ways it can be detected and seen. In India, my dad does it every day. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. He doesn't. I'm just saying. I'm literally joking. He's against all of that shit. But what I mean is, everyone is doing it all the time. And that's a fact. That's a fucking fact. No one can deny me on that. And it's much more than marijuana and shrooms. Um, but coming back, the tip is when we are institutionalized, or like, when I mean institutionalized, it can also be your home. It can also be the four walls of your room. Okay, it can also be the four walls that your parents have put around you. It can be the four walls that your friends have put around you. It can be the four walls anyone has put around you. You have to understand that someone else has put those walls, but your walls are not supposed to be stagnant like that. You can just manually push them away. Really, you can. And it's going to feel very, like, when you push something real hard, and like the resistance that comes with it, like, ugh, that is really hard. I remember when I traveled back from Canada, um, I was supposed to go to Delhi. Okay, and even the smallest things, like I couldn't get train tickets. My dad wouldn't send a driver to the train station. Um, I was scared that I was gonna get fucking assaulted on the train because I just came back living in a country that assault is like, it happens once in a fucking, I don't know, a leap year or something. Man. Um, then I like had to travel to Bangalore and to meet a friend, and literally the resistances in these things are so hard. I felt sick. I was literally dying on my period a day before my flight. I got into a fight with my best friend a day before the flight in Delhi, and I was homeless for that like night, and like I did not know what to do. And then, because of that, I found out, because I was trying to prepone my flight, I found out that actually the flight that I thought was at 3 p.m. in the afternoon was at 3 a.m. in the morning. Okay, so all of that resistance, then I went to Bangalore, and like, so much, man. Like, I can't give you all the details of like the tiniest things about my travel experiences. Someday maybe I will, but there is so much resistance to any kind of like literal change that you're trying to make in your life. So much resistance that some people just give up, and I have been that person like a lot of times, and I'm sure you would have been too. And it's not necessary to always accept that change, but you have to understand like that force is there for a reason. you know like, no water, like when water is flowing in a direction, okay, there is force coming from like a big like waterfall, or like water is melting or something that's pushing it the other way, and nothing is coming back. Like, nothing is pushing it that way, right? But there are rocks stopping it, but it's still going to go that way. Okay, and that's really just like, I always look at water and I'm like, man, like, that's life. No. um I've been so worried about my university lately that I just thought it was important to talk about this, that um being a part of an institution, it's a privilege, and it's not supposed to be the biggest stress on your mind. It is not. It has been the biggest stress on my mind for the last few weeks, and it still is. But, well, I chose something, okay, that I wasn't aware of the choice I was making at the age of 16 or 17. And my parents, both of them, have been traumatized in their own ways to understand that the choices that they're making for their kids might not be the best ones, because there's a lot of projection involved. In हिंदी उनको समझ नहीं आता है कि जब वो हमारे फ़ायदे की बात सोच रहे होते हैं, तो हमारे फ़ायदे के लिए वो उन्हें हमेशा हम पे यकीन तब करना चाहिए जब हम 18-19 साल के हो चुके होते हैं. I remember when I went to that institution, it was from stubbornness, it was from a zid, it was from something completely opposite to why I should have gone there for that education. you know and I'm still a part of it, and there is a lot of resistance that still comes my way, like even if it is financial, even if it is from friends, if it is from grades or something. And I always keep thinking, life is asking me to change my way, life is asking me to change my way. Something is brewing that I don't understand, something is brewing that I don't understand, and I still don't. But I recognize that there's a change required. And it feels unfamiliar. It's very like unfamiliar, like when you're unfamiliar with something, it causes a lot of unsafety and you don't feel secure in anything you're doing. I don't even feel secure in recording this podcast because it's about a thought process that even I haven't had the courage to like reach to yet. But a choice I made, okay, has affected mentally myself. Okay, I have developed like a health disorder that is chronically a lot like very bad for me just because of a small zit that I had, that I want to go to the best institution in the world, and I did. And the stress from that, and living there on my own, like trying to earn money for my rent, standing up to the big standards of that university, like the fucking cream of the world of the world comes there. I know people whose parents pay their tuition, pay their rent, and then give them money for partying also. And here I am, like my parents, like they're taking loans for my education, like we are collaborating for my fees for like housing and all. Sorry bro, my fucking phone ran out of storage. But yeah, I was saying like partying, that was all on me, and I was taking care of it pretty well. But it was not the best decision for me. It was not. And I realized that. And it's because I trusted an institution more than I trusted myself. I trusted the four walls that were put around me more than the fact that I gave them the liberty and the, you know, allowance to put those walls around me. That it was me that did it. And I can always be me that can like be like, nah, bro, get out. You know? That's all that I want to like talk about. That education is a privilege. It's not supposed to be the biggest stress on your mind. I don't know. I am not the best like saint for life advice. I know the real world out there doesn't live in this bubble of like, oh, like if you don't have a college education, like of course there are some places that are not going to give you a job, but there are a lot of places that are going to give you a job. There can be a set amount of them that won't. Yeah, sure. But when I was in Canada, okay, I was just a high school graduate, okay, and I got jobs there. I really did. I got jobs, and I earned good money there. And I'm in India right now, and I am still not a graduate. I'm still like in my last year, and I have like certain job offers that I applied to on the table. Of course, it comes on the basis of the fact that I like went through this huge degree, but it's not only that, it's because of the things I learned from it. And you can learn that anywhere. You can learn that anywhere. Trust me. So, the point of today's podcast was education again is a privilege. Okay, never ever ever go to an institution because it has promised you some things that you depend on. You should only depend on yourself, okay, and your abilities. The Prime Minister of India is a chaiwala. A college degree is not going to get you to the presidency or the prime minister of the country. It's a privilege to have an education. So be wise with the walls that you put around you. Be it a house, be it a person, be it an institution. It's not the end of the world, everything you do, but the consequences of your actions. There is a lot of response for every cause. a lot. जो भी तुम करते हो उससे तुम और तुम्हारे आसपास के लोग हमेशा अफेक्ट होते हैं, हमेशा। और इसको जितना भी समझ लो, अच्छे तरीके से बुरे तरीके से, ऐसी चॉइसेस बनाओ जिससे तुम खुश रहो। ऐसी चॉइसेस बनाओ जो ज़िद से ना निकले, थोड़ी समझदारी से निकले। मेक इंटेलिजेंट चॉइसेस rather than reluctant or resistant or traumatized choices. And it's all in the gut feeling. I have showered so much gyan information on you. I hope it made any sense. All I did was share a lot of my personal experiences to tell you guys that जब तुम एक इंस्टीट्यूशन का पार्ट होते हो, try not to make it your life. Try not to make it your entire life. Okay, every second of what you're doing in that institution is gonna help you do something in the real world. Okay, and completing that is not a part of it. Yes, the world tells you that, and yes, if you want to attain a certain position in the big fours or something, okay, bro, I personally know people, okay, who don't have college degrees and are still working there, okay, because of numerous reasons, like they slept with someone, or they got referred by someone, or they were working as a peon, like, or like a teller, or like, you know, anything there. So if it's a dream that you have that is bigger than your own being, crush your soul for that. Okay, go mop their floors and they're gonna hire you as an analyst or something someday. But don't ever put those four walls beyond yourself. Ever. Please. Please. Nothing is worth your mental health. And I learned it the hardest way, man. I swear. My university has killed me. And it still is. Okay, I'm trying my best to like find a way out. Okay, and it might be through it, okay, but I'm gonna find my way out. Okay, it might be some other way, but it's a lesson I learned, and it's more precious than any experience ever. The lesson I learned, sharing it so that someone else doesn't, you know, have to go through it ever again. Okay, my lesson is, don't depend on an institution. Do not ever depend on an institution, depend on yourself. Okay. Thank you so much for joining the episode 3 of Post Hazelnut Clarity. I still can't believe I fucking named this shit that. I'm gonna see you guys soon. Thank you.